What's up, guys? Welcome to the Blue Collar Venture Show. It's your boy Los and Phil, and today we are talking about what we're up to. So we've noticed that there's a lot of shows here when it comes to home services and blue collar companies and things like that where people give you advice on things that you might not really need. And the truth is you're in the day-to-day as an entrepreneur, as an owner, as a CEO, as a founder of these businesses, and you have your own hiccups and problems, and you want to hear how people are solving their hiccups and problems at the same time. So we wanted to build a show where we show you not only like kind of like in the air, like actively, you see us like in pools, in locations, doing things, but you also get like the behind the scenes where we tell you what we're up to, what we're working on right now, what our focus is. And that is completely different. You get to see like what we're doing and how we're building our business to $100 million as a goal in the next couple of years. Right now, starting at, we did about 20 million last year. We're looking at 35 for this year, 2024. And our goal is to do over $100 million in the next couple of years by 2027 or something like that, or potentially franchise and sell. But we'll keep you guys open and updated on all this stuff. So the number one thing that we want to talk about today is kind of like expansion, right? So right now, the Orlando pool company is doing really well. We've fired and let go of a lot of people that weren't great at sales, hired new salespeople, built a new CRM, custom CRM for us. You can check it out at myleadflowcrm.com because we built it for us, by us, for you guys, so you guys can use it because we know how it's like to work with people in this particular scenario. And we've also now looked at expanding into different locations. So the first location that we're looking at and we're actually starting ads next week is going to be West Palm, Palm Beach. And we're also looking at buying a potential opportunity in Dade County, Miami-Dade, so we'll be able to potentially, and we'll keep you updated with this, get 2 locations in 1 year, potentially even more, because we're looking at this SBA structure that we'll share with you guys as well as we keep it going. But so the big thing that we've noticed, and Phil, you can really talk about this because you just went to an event with a lot of people in this industry. No one really thinks about growth, and a lot of people really look at this industry and kind of like dismiss it. If you're in this industry, your kid probably doesn't want to do it. He wants to be a Bitcoin king or a crypto miner or an e-com guru or some stuff like that. And when you say like, hey, what if you owned a pool company? And they're like, that's kind of stupid. It's extremely lucrative. There's a lot of growth, great opportunity for a sale, but no one wants to do it. So it's a blue ocean, right? There's a lot of hiccups and things that just get into it, but no one wants to do it. And so we want to expand. So our play right now, so you guys know, and you can follow suit with this or let us help you on it, is we're going into South Florida first. We're starting our showroom. We expect to have a showroom around March or April. We're doing some testing right now with ads, and Phil and I are driving down and like selling those pools personally at the beginning. And then we're looking at also buying another location from someone that wants to sell because he was a boomer that his son doesn't want it in Miami-Dade County. So Phil, tell him a little bit about what you saw with, the average person that builds these businesses 25 years, 30 years, and they can't get growth, and why you see that they don't do growth.
I don't think it's they can't get growth. It's
I don't think they
want it. They're comfortable.
I think it's because they don't see a bigger horizon.
They don't look forward.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They don't hire the right people. They don't surround themselves with good people. I think the hurdle comes into you're working in the business all the time.
Yeah.
Look at me. I mean, it took a long time until we can say, hey, listen, let's start looking outside and let's exceed that $15, $20 million mark. Well, how are we going to do it? We got to grow different locations, right? What's that going to take? It's going to take a big team. It's going to take a lot of advertising. It's going to take a lot of hustle. It's going to take a lot of grit, a lot of grind. But it's something that no good old boy is doing, right? So we see the generational shift now in the pool building industry and the good old blue collar industry, plumbers, electricians, HVACs, roofers, I mean, you name it.
Painters.
Anything. I mean, there's a massive generational shift right now where the good old boys are starting to exit and the good young guys are walking in. Good young guys, meaning it's either their sons who have been fed this business and eventually you're just going to throw it into the ground because they don't know what grit and grind is like, right? I mean, they don't know what that day-to-day operations really like. They just see dad do it and assume they can take it over. Or it's people like us who are sitting there looking at this low-hanging fruit saying, shit, let's get in and let's rock it. I mean, it doesn't take much. It just takes, like I said, advertising. It takes the right mindset. It takes a lot of grit, grind. Obviously, you have to have a license for what you do, so you have to put your time in, energy, go to school or work underneath somebody, apprenticeship, take your license, take your tours, pass your tests, start your business, and then you're off to the races.
So I will say, because there's a lot of people that listen and watch these shows, and some of them are home service companies, and some of them are entrepreneurs, and be like, "Yo, this is a great business opportunity. I can take it over." Phil started this. Like Phil and I have been friends for almost 20, 25 years, and Phil started this, and he hit me up 4 years ago or whatever. He was like, "Yo, do this with me," and I was like, "No, like it wasn't the right time." And then when we did it, we decided to like really expand it like very big. But he was already committed to that. I quit multiple $1 million opportunities to dive all in. And the reason I say that is because if you want to do this, it's not some quick flip type shit. It is actually a suck, and it's for a longer term horizon. But I looked at things that I was doing. I was like, all right, I can make $1 million there. I can make $1 million there. I will get rid of that to make $100 million as a brand, because I think the one thing that I love about this business is, what am I going to do 2025? That. What am I going to do 2026? That. And I can only expand into more opportunities in people's homes, because now I have the know, like, and trust. And so if you're a marketer or if you're a business owner and you're like, yo, this makes sense, you have to kind of kill what you're doing to make this commitment. Like there was a lot of times, like in my personal situation, where I was like, man, like I can just do some other shit, but I was committed to the longevity with myself and Phil of doing something that like really would put us in a place of like, wow, like these two grabbed something and turned it into a 9-figure business and sold it, or turned it into a franchise. And I see that we can do that. And so I made a huge commitment. And I really do think that if you're wanting to do this, you can. But it will take commitment, and commitment means killing things that are successful and that you think you can make work. You're probably right, but you have to say, is this what I want, or is this what I want? And I looked at it as like, is this where I want to end up? Not, is this what I want? This is not what I want, but this is where I want to end up. Right. So I have to do what I don't want to do to be where I'm going to want to be at the end of the day. And so it's a different way of looking at it, because a lot of marketers and a lot of business guys, especially online, look at like that quick flip, that quick money. And this is not that.
Never going to happen.
It's not that. Yeah. But I, as a dad and older guy nowadays, dead ass, like I look at it as like, man, I'm proud of it. And I know that I can do it year over year until we do something even bigger. And so our bigger goal is we want to build a home. That's why it's Blue Collar Ventures. We're starting here and we're growing this on our own. But we're also going to be taking on companies, taking equity in companies, and growing those businesses in the home service, so we can end up doing a roll up and help a lot of people like you guys that don't know where to go, don't know what to do. And we have those SOPs, we have those systems, and we're able to help people scale while we scale with you guys, and kind of like in a partnership level.
Yeah. Don't make obviously a ton of mistakes right along the way in the past 4 years of been doing this, but golly, what we've learned along the process is absolutely incredible. And now we can take that and kind of apply it to all the other arenas in the Blue Collar Ventures platform. No matter what industry it's in, whether it's plumbing or it's electrical or it's pools or it's HVAC or it's roofing, you do the same thing. It's the marketing, it's the sale, it's the close, it's the customer service, it's the relationship, and then it's rinse and repeat at a larger scale, finding the right people to bring in, paying them the right way, doing the commission structures the right way, things that we've hurdled against, and obviously tripped and fell a few times, but man, we got it good now.
And one of the things I want to say too about Phil is, when we started this whole thing and we came in, Phil had a great structure, and he has probably a very unique sales process, but it's why they close more deals. And we could probably even have a whole episode on that, and you can touch on it a little bit. We should have a whole episode. But the other thing that I think people don't take into accountability here, because it's blue collar, it's Bud Light, it's just having a vibe, is you just put bodies into the system. And so when I came in, I kind of got rid of half the sales team, and I hired a completely different level of sales guys that did not have anything to do with this. And then Phil and I conjunctively worked together on, and it was mostly Phil's like end up concept, because we had like 10 different ideas on how to do this, but Phil ended up coming up with a system that is not anywhere near of how normal people get paid in these levels of commission, that creates accountability, sustainability, and together with him and I, we are now building a culture. And that culture is going to be what drives the new offices.
That's right.
Because we're bringing these people down, we're bringing the systems down, and now we're bringing our systems and operational processes, which is why we expect to be able to start franchising around 2026.
Yeah, culture is everything. I mean, you hit it right on the head. We had some people in the industry,
and they
that
were
came
massively
into us.
successful for us, and they were bringing in crazy
ton
money.
of money. Yeah,
and we let them go.
Yeah, we had to. I mean, when you see that culture killer, that it's a cancer that spreads throughout the organization, regardless how well it's being run. It takes one person to be that bad egg, right? And it spoils everybody. And it maybe not spoils people, but I think it gets in their head. And it resonates, and it starts, they go to bed at night and they're like, man, was he right?
It enhances the cancer.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
It makes it spread faster, So by eliminating that altogether, sure, you see an immediate stop in maybe that production that we were missing, right? So what was it, $6 million a year? It's gone, basically. But, hey, we replace it with new guys who have no experience, and they do it the right way the first time. Now we've regained that plus some much faster than I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, and it's a terrifying thing to let go of someone that's producing $6 million a year in revenue, right? But you have to think of it longer term. Is this $6 million capping us because this is like holding us hostage?
Yeah.
Or should we let go of this $6 million and eat and suck it a little and figure it out again so we can get to 20, 30, 40 million dollars?
That's perfect.
And that's the decision that we made. And you guys might be thinking in your way as well. Like, man, like I know I got a guy. I know exactly who I'm thinking of in my head, whatever.
Cut him.
And the answer is like, you're right.
Cut him.
Like me and Phil went a lot of back and forth because it's a terrifying thing to do. But we
trust
did
your
it
gut.
The next day.
You got to trust
everything,
your gut.
the office, the culture just shifted to where we wanted it to be, and things are smooth and perfect, and we're just moving in a dynamic right now together as a unit that is a championship level team. And I don't think in the blue collar home service place there's enough focus on culture. There's a lot of focus on like, you've got a job, do your job. I don't give a shit. Like, I'll do my thing, whatever. People are people. If you have a venture-backed software that you work at, or if you are the best marketer somewhere, you're the creative director somewhere else, or you work a blue-collar job, you want to be treated right. You want to know that you can go somewhere, that this is heading me in a better direction, and I have a mission and vision, and the owners have values that want to support me as well. And a lot of people in these industries don't really present that, and I think it's a flaw that you guys should focus on doing, because if you focus more on the people we're not gonna make each other money. It's the people that are gonna make us the money. We're gonna come up with the process and the systems, but if we don't hire the right people, this will not work.
That's right.
Whether it comes to sales or marketing or construction or onboarding or systems or permitting, it doesn't matter. If we don't have the right people in place, they're going to support us. So why don't we go out of our way to support them and give them the dream that they're giving us back?
Yeah. Team's everything. Teamwork makes the dream work. I mean, I'm telling you, it's funny because when we first started, it was always construction versus sales, right? Sales would go out, they would sell something, and then construction would come in and be like, why'd you sell it like that? Why'd we do this? Why'd we do that? Then all of a sudden, we had that culture shock, and we started eliminating people. We bring the sales in-house. Now they're at the office all the time with the construction. Now you start seeing people talk amongst each other. Hey, we're going to do it like this instead. Fantastic idea. It's going to make the company more money. It's going to make the sale better. Customers going to be happier. And it was funny. One of my director of construction walked in today, and he looked at me in the office, and he's like, this is amazing. This is working out so well. Sales is here. Everybody's there. The vibe, the culture, the power. I mean, when you walk in that office now, you feel like you're part of an organization. It's not fragmented like it was before, where sales was at the showroom and construction was at the warehouse. Now everybody's in one spot. So when you walk in there, you actually feel that energy, and it's much different than it was before.
And it's very much on purpose. Like, we noticed that there was no connection, and we're like, everything has to be united, because I look at it as like a championship team, right? Like, there's a starting five, but there's the bench that can get us all the wins well, right? And if we don't play that way, your mistake is messing with our money, just like our mistake is messing with your money. So why don't we just connect together and get a big win? And so, Phil, I want to talk a little bit about just the system that we have that I don't think anybody has. And frankly, I challenge you guys to actually follow this, because it'll make you guys a lot more money, but you probably won't do it. Tell them the system that we have on why we're different on closing people more and consistently, as opposed to just like dropping out some quick invoices and seeing like what can happen after that.
Yeah, one of the things that I realized was we don't give out our proposals. We don't give out all the design work that we do. It's it's our nature as humans. We're going to take it. We're going to run to somebody and say, can you beat it? And what people don't understand is when you're dealing with blue collar like us
They'll
and like
beat
you,
it.
they're going to beat it, but the quality's not going to be there, right? We hold our price because we know what we deliver to our customers. It's timing, communication, and quality. All three of those have to be there, right? So timing's always on point, communication's the best, and our quality's untouchable. As long as you can provide those three things, you're going to kill it. But what we do is we always do an upfront contract with the customer, right? So we want to make sure that they understand our process from the start all the way to the end before I even meet with them or before one of our sales guys. It's called mutual demystification. It's a pretty cool word.
Is it really?
Yeah, mutual demystification.
You
So
made that up.
no, I kind of did. So this is how it works, right? So if I'm on the phone with you, I'm like, hey, what's up, Los? It's Phil, Presidential Pools. Have you ever heard of the word mutual demystification? People are like, no, I haven't. What's that? I'm like, okay, cool. You ever built a pool before? No, I haven't. Okay, great. And this is where it starts. And if they say yes, fantastic. Tell me about the process. How did it work? Did they tell you everything up front? Did they tell you what the next step was? What was left open in the air where you guys, I don't want to get to the table and then be like, so what's next? And we're like, I don't know. What do you want to do? And then it's kind of awkward, right? Like, you need to give me a check or sign a contract. I'm not ready. Let's put it all there now. So mutual demystification means we're going to talk about what's going to happen. And when we get to that stage where we're both unsure, it probably means we're not going to work together, right? So this is how it's going to work. We're going to tell them we're going to come to your house. We're going to look at your property. I'm going to get your dream. We're going to talk about that backyard oasis, what the color of the pool is, all that good stuff. And then from there, I'm going to go back to my office. And I'm going to put together this amazing 3D rendering. I'm going to show you what your backyard can look like. And I'm going to invite you to my showroom. When you come to my showroom, I'm going to put it up on the big screen. We're going to price it out, look at the pavers, the tile, and all that stuff. We're going to price out the pool. And let me ask you, Los, if I blow your brains out with this amazing design, everything you've ever wanted, and I hit your budget, is there any reason we're not going to do business?
No.
And I leave it there. And sometimes I'd be like, you know what? I want to get three quotes. I'm like, okay, cool. What for? What are you looking for? Is it for price? Because if you're shopping on price, I won't be the cheapest. I'll tell you up front. But I will tell you I'm going to be the best. So are you the type of person who likes the best? Or are you the type of person who wants cheapest? Because those are the people who separate themselves. I don't work for the cheapest. I don't want to say bad stuff. I buy nice stuff because it lasts me a long time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we work hard. You know, you don't, if you have the money to buy a Mercedes and you go buy yourself a Honda Civic, not like there's anything wrong with either one of those, that's two different people. Value, quality, two different types, right? So depending on where those people fall are our customers. Like I say.
What's a necessity? What's a feeling?
Correct. Yeah. Not all customers are meant for presidential pools.
Right.
Nope, not yet. Exactly.
And we're totally okay with that. And I'll even tell you guys a little bit of our campaign here in 2024. We actually decided, Phil came up with this as well. We're going to match everybody's pricing. So we don't do $80,000 or $100,000 pools. We usually start at 120, 150 and up, but we'll go down to match people's prices. The reason, and you know, we'll even say it if people that want a pool are listening, the reason is because we'll match you down at $80K and we'll match that one person that's going to do a shittier job. We know that when it comes to fixtures and systems and processes, we will end up at about where we want it to be by doing a better job. But it's the way that we can get to you instead of saying that we're the most luxury pool company around. That leaves us with a less total addressable market if we go down and then go back up, because when you go down, you want a pool. And an average hole in the wall is 80 grand, right? But if you want something else, if you want like one or two specific things, and if you want things done right, we will now explain to you and educate you on how to get the best experience. No one wants a pool. They want a story. They want an outside. They want a memory. And so we're going to build that. And once we get into that, that changes everything, right? And even down to, and I'll let Phil explain this too, we changed the way that we pay the people that work with us, because everybody is down to sell you stuff. And on an average, in a pool company, you're going to get a 6% commission, and that makes complete sense. But they are incentivized to sell you whatever the fuck they want so they can get that commission. And that doesn't help us sometimes because they oversell and they don't understand the necessities that have to happen inside of like developing that pool or the things that are needed inside of that. But they just want the most. And we changed it and started doing a different model that now we can say, hey, we're not commission based. We're here to help you. So whatever you want, no matter what you sell, if it's $1 million pool or a $200,000 pool or $120,000 pool, I'm not going to make more money. I'm here to help you actually, so I don't get more money by selling you more stuff. I'm here to understand your budget, understand your scenario, and build the best experience that I can for you. And no one else can say that. And those little intricacies, those little things, and I'm going to have him explain it, but those little things are what makes people different. That's the kind of stuff that builds a brand, right? We're not just looking for money. We're looking to help the people. And a lot of people just want to get the deal and get the money. And if you focus on the people in every real scenario in business in general, you're going to get a lot more out of it in the long run. And we're here for the long run. So explain kind of the scenario of how we're doing things now.
No, it's funny you said that because I was just talking to Will, one of our sales guys in my office, and I was going through the mutual diversification idea with him. When you get to the house, what are you going to do? You're going to walk through the whole thing. You're going to tell him, hey, listen, what's your backyard look like? What can we build? And I said, hey, listen, man, on your way out, try this. Say, hey, listen, Los, thanks for your time today. I'm super pumped. I can't wait to see you at the showroom on Tuesday because remember, we make that showers in my showroom. I'll go back to my office. I'll build the pool. I'll do all that stuff. We'll price it out and we're ready to go. Or we can meet next week. Completely up to you. What's the next time available? And I'll let them tell me and I'll put it in my calendar. And on my way out, I'll be like, oh, wait, I forgot to tell you. I don't make commission off this. I'm a sales manager with Presidential Pools. We're all sales managers. So regardless if you buy from me or not, I'm happy. I'm just here to make sure I fulfill all of your needs that you want without overcharging you for stuff you don't need. So I try to make more money. Does that make sense? So I'm more or less saying, hey, listen, I'm going to make sure I give you everything that you want at the price that you want, and you get the quality that you want without paying me a commission that you don't want to pay. The company's taking care of me on that.
Yeah.
I just get paid just to make sure I do a great job with you. They've taken interest in me. They pay me a salary. They don't pay me a commission. So as long as I take care of you, I keep my job, I keep my salary, everybody's happy. You're happy, I get a referral, and that's how my business grows.
You know what that happens? No one's lying to you.
Right. There's no lie.
There's just transparency.
100%.
Like, I got nothing to sell you.
Yeah.
This costs what it costs. It is what it is.
Yes.
And I'm here to make sure that I can maintain a budget that you have, because whatever your budget is, I'm going to make the same.
That's right.
And so no one else can say that. And so everyone else is out there selling people. And so we're out there doing two different things, right? Three different things. We're expanding while no one else wants to expand, right? Because everyone's afraid or their kid doesn't want to do it or whatever the case. So we're expanding aggressively. Then we're spending money on marketing. We're doing like 5 different things. We're spending on marketing. We're also building CRMs. We're adding AI. We'll talk about that in another episode because there's too much smoke for you guys right now. And we're also building a culture that makes people feel good and makes the owner feel supported instead of sold. And that is what's going to give us the trust to increase things, even though we're going to price match everything. We will. If you just want to end up with a small pool, that's a decision we made. We're going to do it. But if you trust us so much, you'll trust our judgment. And hey, this is forever, man. If this is your last pool, if this is your last home, I suggest you do X, Y, Z. You're going to trust us because I don't make more commission from doing anything like that. And that the people treating thing there is what these businesses are about. It's about connection, camaraderie, like trust. And you don't get that anymore. You get a lot of like, hey, note taking. Like, you got a 16-year-old who like, what do you know about this stuff? Like, and they just sell you whatever it is, and they just go back and they toss you a quote, and you go shop it everywhere. We create an experience, and the reason we create an experience is because you are buying an experience. You're buying a memory, and so instead of thinking like, "Hey, this is a quote," no, this isn't a quote. This is what you're going to have for the next decade or more.
Yeah, I think, I'll tell you where that big quantum leap happened for us is when we really started thinking about growth. When we think about growth, we want to open up another branch down south, but we want to make sure that branch down south carries the same culture from the branch up north down south. Well, how do you make that happen? You can't have day-to-day sales guys making a commission thinking about culture. They're thinking about themselves. It's natural. They're 1099. What's in it for me, not what's in it for the company. I want to take as much from the company as possible because I deserve it in their mentality.
And I'm not legally bound to keep this. I can go sell some other stuff.
Correct. They can go anywhere they want because we can't sit there and keep them captive because they're not a W-2 employee.
Totally.
So what we did was we said, listen, let's go back to the drawing board. Nobody else does this in the industry. We need to change something because if we want to grow the way we want to grow, there needs to be change. We need to have culture. We need to have people who are loyal in this industry, and it's tough to have loyal people in sales. So how do we do it? We put together a team of people who are paid well that all work together, that you give them an opportunity to say, hey, listen, Los, you joined Presidential Pools today and you start selling. You learn the culture. You help grow the culture. When that West Palm Beach starts taking off, I need a branch manager down there. And guess who's going to be it? Yeah. You are, because you know the culture. And I feel like you can bleed the culture to the next 6 people we hire down there, and that culture is going to grow. And then guess what? From there, we sit back and we grow that culture up. And then we open up our Miami-Dade branch, right?
Yep.
And we need a branch manager there. How are we going to do that? So this is the growth mentality. You know, when we think about growth, when we first started, I was personally thinking, I'll grow to a city 20 miles away. No, we went 40 miles right now at our original branch right now in Orlando. We can go to Tampa, right? But I want to go somewhere far and start just taking over the entire state. You have to have culture. You have to have team, processes, people, product. I mean, you hear the 3 Ps. And then you have to have the quality, timing, and communication, right? So I think by thinking outside the box, grow to a size that scares you, and how are we going to get there, right? So I think of it as, I tell people this too when I sell sometimes. It's like, okay, listen, Los, we're going to build your pool, right? You ever been on a vacation? You ever been to like Hawaii? It's beautiful, right? It's stunning. You get there and you're like,
So far away.
this is freaking beautiful. How was the flight?
I never want to do it again.
That's my point. So this is how I
just want it in my backyard.
Exactly. Like, perfect. See? So I tell
Yes.
people, hey, listen, this is how it's going to work. It's like going on a vacation, right? The end result when you get there is absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here. But man, that journey there sucks. It's like, holy shit, this plane is bumpy. I'm going to go down. I'm going to die. I'm going to drown. I don't know what it is. But that whole way there, what are you thinking about? That end result. It's like this business, right? I think about the end result. Getting there is tough. It's a bitch to get there. We're hiring the right people. We're working day in, day out. I don't sleep sometimes. I stay up at night. But that's where we have to do to get to that vacation, that Hawaii, that, oh my gosh, we're here, that.
Yeah.
And it takes work.
You know, people aren't buying a pool. They're not buying a paint job. They're buying a necessity like HVAC and plumbing. It's like, oh crap, like I need it now. Or they're buying a feeling. Your house is purple, whatever, and now it's a beautiful like off-white or
The emotion.
You know, whatever. They're buying like, man, that's wow. That looks beautiful. That they're buying that feeling, that reciprocal. Someone else saying like, man, like that's amazing. They're buying like, man, I can keep my kids here instead of like having them going somewhere else because I have the nicest pool. They're buying like, man, like I can't believe like we share so many Thanksgivings here because your kitchen is the most beautiful. They're buying feelings. Yeah. And if you sell a product, you're going to lose the people like us that know how to sell a feeling.
Emotion.
Right?
People buy an emotion.
It's emotion.
They walk away on logic. It's
Right.
very simple.
Right.
When I sit there and I look at something, I go, okay, how do you feel buying that? Not what do you think? How do you feel? You know, it's 2 different ways
Yes,
you think about it. So if I'm thinking about, okay, I'm going to put $150,000 in my backyard, logically, terrible idea. I could take that, go put it into an investment over the next 15, 20 years and double, triple my money, right? It's simple. Or emotionally, I think to myself, wow, the parties I can have, my wife is going to
Will
look
your
beautiful.
kids be here
My
at 17 if you buy $150,000 investment?
Yes, they will.
No, they won't.
What?
If you buy,
my investment, yeah.
If you buy a $150,000 pool,
They'll be there every day
and
with their
you'll,
friends.
and you'll know every friend.
And that's emotion. You
That's
buy an
worth more
emotion,
than
right.
$150.
Exactly. Damn
Yes.
straight. Yeah. And what I'm even more pumped about, getting in the pool business was freaking nuts because you're going after a market that people buy an emotion only, right? So let's see if we can dominate an emotionally driven market right off the rip. And we're doing it. Now let's see what happens when we get into a market where people need it, like plumbing, HVAC, electrical, roofing, all that stuff. Now we're going to dominate the emotion side. Now let's get into the pure logic because now we can just take it over using the same processes and procedures.
And no matter where we start, if it's logical, we have an opening to go emotional.
Yeah.
And if it's emotional, we have a logical reason to tell you that that works.
Yeah.
Right? You need these things once you're emotional and go logical, that's even better. And we started with emotional. So the next thing is like, you don't want problems there, right? You want your roof to not leak.
Damn right, yeah.
You don't want mold. That's nuts. And so that's how we're thinking of things. And by the end of the year, we're probably going to own not only a couple of other we'll own them all, but like we'll have a couple of other pool businesses, but you'll see us kind of get into different verticals. And I want to challenge you guys to think outside the box. And if you're looking at this as an entrepreneur, don't look at this as an investment. Look at this as a decision to get deeply involved in. Because when I made the decision to go here, I quit a lot of things, but I was like, I'm all in. Because I know that this is a market that no matter how many videos we make, you don't want to do this because it's just hard. It's one of the harder things to do. And that's why we'll give you all the tricks of the trade. So next week, we're going to talk to you guys about our social media strategy and our go-to-market strategy down south. So stay tuned, subscribe, join the notifications, follow at Phil. What's your Insta?
The Real Phil Lell.
And follow Los Hustle. I got my account stolen a long time ago. I don't love it either. But I love you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you.